playing a game?
No, I just pressed this thing and it's like things on my screen. I'm like, oh, okay.
Everything is turning into Christmas. Okay, we can get started. Those that are not up in the panel, if you like to come up, you press the pink and blue icon and I will accept you. But let us get started on our review session for our favorite book, which is Big Bumper Matter Tomorrow. So, yeah, that is our book. Welcome, everybody. And what did you guys think of the book overall? Starting with you, Kuli, will go in order.
Okay, so when I read the prologue, I imagined that the book would be more about Demi. But then going more into it, I realized this is like someone telling the story of the all the
Can
family
you pause?
members. So 1 minute.
Sorry, 1 second. Somebody is echoing. Can you guys, can we turn off our mics and just let her speak? Okay, you can go ahead.
Are we good? So going into it, I felt like there was just a lot happening. 1 minute you're reading about who you assume is the main character, then it's the aunt, then it's the is it the attorney or the man who read the will, and then it's the sister, and then along the way you end up thinking, what exactly are we reading here? Are we reading a family kind of story collectively, or is it specifically about her? So it was quite confusing from time to time. But yeah, I soldiered on.
Oh, okay. So, this book was a culture shock, not only in like the the contents of the book, but the way it was written in and of itself. Like the second POV. I've never read a book written in second POV. I was just like, okay, this is new. But as I went along, okay, and then they introduced like the other types of narration, which was third person, there was first person as well. And I was just like, what is the intention here? What's going on? What's happening? But as I read, I kind of started like enjoying it. And by the time I got to the end, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. This is fantastic. So yeah.
Okay. Today I'm no longer freaking out. Well, I did not finish the book. Sorry to inform everybody. I did not finish the book. But from what I gathered, from what I read, for me, it's not something I would ever read again. I don't think I would ever read something like that ever again. When I first read the book, I was firstly mad because it was in second person, of which is something that I truly, truly loathe. And when I went deeper into the book, I realized that maybe this book is about teachings or something about confidence or something of that sort. And it's not something that I normally gravitate towards. Like, I really do not gravitate to books that actually teach. I stay far from them. I don't want to be taught anything. I won't lie. I really, really stay away from such books. And this book in particular, from the different narrations, it was just massive on my part because I just don't understand how a single book can have three different narrations. And even the writing was just not it for me. Yeah, it was just a mess from what I read.
Uh, So personally, for me, I like messy. I like drama. So it was just like It was like the perfect read, and I'm quite acquainted with Nigerian authors and their writing styles, particularly this author. I've read some of her work before. So this one was kind of nice because I want to know what everyone is thinking. Like, please tell me. Like, I want to know what really happened to Hazana. Why did she marry that man? Because there's no way you're telling me you don't find this man attractive, but you married him. And then, but I think the teaching, it's really, it's something that needed to be addressed in this generation and today's day and age. Today, if you scroll on TikTok or any other social media platform, BBLs are a thing. Lipo, people are doing, what's that lip thingy? Everyone is working on their bodies, nose jobs. Guningi, 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 guys. I think it's highlighting the pros and the cons of those things. Also, if someone really wanted to get their body done, I think that book is more of an insight. It's gonna give you a perspective that you've never thought about, because as people we all have our own perspective and opinions, and sometimes it's okay to be open to other perspectives as well, and especially when it's something concerning your body. And I also, as a shopper queen, okay, this as a shopper queen, I felt this to the core, because yes, why do I have a flat ass? But then why do I have a flat ass? And everyone at home has a body. That body is T. I understood where she was coming from, but I also understood where her parents are coming from, because they were born in a generation whereby you're taught to accept yourself as you are, whereas in this generation, industries, particularly the medical industry, they capitalize on the fact that people hate their bodies. People have body dysmorphia. People want to do, it's always something. Whether it's a boob job, you're getting your BBL, you're getting your lip stand, it's a nose job. Next thing you know, people, they're getting their eyes done. They want different eye colors from the ones that they were born with. It's it's actually very insightful, and it's giving an eye opener on the capitalism that has happened over the century in the generations today. We are, I don't know if I can curse. We are effed. We are effed as a generation. I'm a 2K. I just, please, if you're someone that you need, you feel like you need to get your body done, or you feel like something about you is missing because you were born with a certain part missing, aka ama hips, and bums. You're not alone. There's a lot of people on the team. You don't need to feel like that. Don't do things that you wouldn't want your child to do out of peer pressure, because you're gonna grow up and you're gonna realize that no, when you made a decision based on what other people thought and said, and you're the one that gets to live with that thing at the end of the day, because you're now in a PPL, you're win. That's it for me, guys.
Hi guys, I just want to apologize for being late. The Wi-Fi. Since we've had a lot of rain, it's not it, guys. I did finish the book after I thought I was gonna DNF. Like, yeah, by 20-30% in, I was like, yo, I can't. I'm not used to that multiple point of views. It was so confusing, and then obviously the language, I was like, what are they saying majority of the book? But When that first plot twist hit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna continue. I mean, I wanted to know what was Ladun's story. I wanted to know, like, there's more intrigues. I did finish it. I did enjoy it a bit more than I actually initially thought. And the father, I just love the father. He's like a sweetheart. Like, that is the type of father, like, person, and especially girls, would want, because that man was so positive about how he raised his daughters. And like, you perfect, but I do support you. If you want it done, I'll support you, I'll give you the money. So that is my main character for the book, is that father.
Okay, thank you everybody. Also, I had trouble with the names. I was like butchering them in my head. I couldn't even catch one name in there. But yeah, for me, I think the book was okay. Not my type of books that I love, but I think it was okay. It was fine, but I didn't quite enjoy it as I thought I would, because for me, I don't know, it was just here and there and there. I couldn't keep up. But overall, I think it was fine. I wouldn't say I hated it. I wouldn't say I loved it. I think it was just in there. But the next question is, do you think that women now want a big bum? And does society put pressure on women that don't, and make them feel like they should? For example, if you are born slim, like some of us, we are very slim, very slim, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure. So, what do you guys think?
I think there is a lot of pressure, especially on social media. Like, people will glamorize going under the knife. They'll glamorize the lifestyle that comes with it. They sort of like sell it as if it's some sort of product that you have to buy into. And if you don't, then it looks like there's something wrong with you if you are not willing to fix any part of yourself. But then I think it boils down to you and how strong you are, because if you're not, then you'll go for that. And next thing you know, you've like one of the ladies mentioned, you fixing this, you fixing that. I feel like once you start, there's just no ending to it. Today it's your hips, tomorrow it's your bums, the next day it's your face. You keep going back, because when you come back, you find something else that you're not satisfied with. You're always seeing some imperfection there. So there is a lot of pressure, definitely, especially on social media, especially for the young ones who still don't know how to stand their ground, especially for the young ones who think that that kind of body will buy you some sort of soft life or make you more attractive, more appealing. Because mostly, if you check, the younger generation is more concerned about being appealing to the public than them being content with themselves. So it goes down to that the pressure is there, and once you get into it, there's just no stopping. I think we've seen some celebrities, even they keep going and going and going. At the end of the day, you wake up and suddenly you cannot recognize yourself because you've done so much work and there's partly no going back. So I don't know whether to say it then becomes an addiction, or it's just you're on a quest to achieve perfection according to what you think perfection is.
I think I agree a lot with what Kuli is saying. Also on the matter of like the book itself and the whole discourse around like the BBL specifically, I think it wasn't a matter of whether she was gonna do it or not. I think that didn't matter at all. The whole point of the book was to show the complexities of self-image and self-esteem. And because when you read all of these women's stories, especially in that first section of the book, where they all speak about their different experiences with their bodies and how they've come to like change over time, that in and of itself shows that the Demi wanting to have a BBL was just one of the ways that she could have rebelled against how she was treated in society because of what she looked like. So just because she wanted to have a BBL and maybe her sister didn't want to because she was satisfied with the way she looks, or her mother was decided to do something different to what she wanted, doesn't mean that her way is wrong more than the other. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I think in this kind of world that we now live in, I don't think it's fair to judge or frown upon people that decide to take this kind of journey, because you don't know what people are dealing with on the inside. And that's what I actually started to understand when we went on this journey, not with just Demi, but with all the other women as well, because we deal with our traumas differently, we process them differently. And I think for her, that was, I don't want to call it a rebellion, because it's not something that started after her father died as the family assumed, but it was something that had been recurring in the back of her mind. I want to do this, I want to get this procedure done because of 1, 2, and 3. She was never at a point in her life confused about why she wanted to do the procedure. She was never unsure. So yeah, those are my 2 cents.
Hi guys. So with me, I think I have to agree with what Willie said, because honestly, medical institution capitalize on people's insecurities. It's like everything at this point in time is on sale. If you don't like the way you look, you can change it. If you feel some type of way about something, then immediately there has to be a solution offered up on the table for that particular thing. And with society, I think they've been, sorry, women's bodies have been sexualized from so earlier on. And with these, like she said earlier on, in the first section, we get to see exactly how all of them came into adulthood, into womanhood. Because with Ladun, she said that, when her body started developing, she hated the attention that it gave her from the opposite gender, whilst Temi wanted that type of attention. She wanted to have the experiences that her sister had, but because she was born with a certain body type, she could not. And with all the women in her family, all of them, they have a different storyline. And it just shows just how society, even though these women are from different generations, some things have not changed as of yet, because women are perceived as sexual objects that are only to satisfy um people's desires, and they don't think about the person behind the body. They don't think that you have feelings, you have emotions. They can just say and do whatever to you, and they don't expect it to have an effect on you, whereas it does. And with today, a lot of teenagers, I would say, they are very, they get influenced way too easily by everything they see, what they hear, what they listen to. Social media has really exposed the good and the bad to people at a very early age, and no one shares bad moments. Everyone is sharing highlights of their life. They're sharing like real worthy moments, the kind that go viral on Instagram, on TikTok, but children don't see that. They look at you got this beautiful body, and they don't know how long it took you to heal. They don't know that you had an infection after your surgery. They didn't know that you couldn't walk, that you had to exercise in order for your body to go back, for your body functionality to go back to the way that it was. And it's like these things are presented on a silver platter as if it's something that everyone needs to have or needs to do, whereas we were created to be individuals that are very different from each other. You're not supposed to look like the next person. You're not supposed to have the same facial structures. You're not supposed to have the same body structures, but because society has deemed women in a certain light, we are being judged for literally any and everything that we do and every decision that we take. It feels as if we are compelled to live life the way that people want us to instead of the life that we want to live. Yeah, guys, that's my 2 cents.
Um, yeah, from personal experience, like obviously high school, I was skinny. There was no bum. So I think not society, but I put pressure more on myself, like, yo, squats, I need a bum. And then obviously, then you started seeing celebrities like, Jennifer Lopez, like everyone was like in the beginning very judgmental because she had this big bum. And then obviously, as university started, and even now, I have a behind. I've got more behind than boobs. So I feel like that is more accepted in this moment. I don't feel pressured or like, yo, I need a bigger bum or I need a smaller bum or whatever. So I just feel like the trend from those years when I was younger, you put pressure on yourself and you want this ideal body, and then you just grow out of it eventually. And now I'm just like, you know what, I'm not like a size 10 or size 8. I would love to lose a bit of weight, but let's embrace the curves. And that's what I like I feel like it's a bit more acceptable. You do get the social media, obviously it depends also what you consume. The more you look at these influencers that look like this, the more you are gonna get that mind, that brainwash. I need to look like that. The more you've got like your type of influencers that like embrace themselves, embrace their flaws, the more you're like, okay, that's okay. They do it, let me do it. So I think as we get older, we definitely get more secure in who we are, and you realize there's a bit more serious things in life than if my bum is now bigger or small or the boobs. Like obviously, we all have our down days. I mean, I have my days, and I'm like nothing fits and everything looks horrible. But then you also put into context like someone else might not have the limbs that you are now carrying on about, like, yo, I wish this was smaller. Someone might be in a wheelchair and be like, I wish I was able to walk. Or someone might have lost their life recently and you are carrying on about something so small, like, oh, yo, my bum is too big or too small. So it sometimes helps to put that into context as well. If you think about it like that, there's always bigger issues out there.
Sorry guys about going out of that life. I think I have network issues. Okay, this is also maybe like from some sort of personal experience. Like I'm the only skinny person in my family. They all have like really good bodies. So maybe at some point I also maybe not like Tim's mind, but at some point maybe I was like maybe I want to gain a bit of weight, maybe be a size 6 or a size 8 because I'm like a size 4. I'm really tiny. So maybe at some point I was also like, maybe I want to fix those imperfections, not to get a BBL. But when you look at social media and all the influencers and look at the kids who actually consume social media, they have really impressionable minds. And these influencers who actually do these BBLs, they even say themselves that a BBL is like a ticket to a more softer life. One of them once said that, yes, a BBL is more like an investment. That was her exact words. That a BBL is more like an investment. You do it, yes, you like put in a lot of money to get that BBL, but at the end of the day, it's gonna come back and you're gonna live lavishly. And when you get on social media and say things like that, where kids actually follow you and they hear like, oh, I'm gonna get a soft life. If I get this BBL, it means I'm gonna live a similar life to so and so. And they forget, just like someone said on a panel, they forget to tell you the bad side of it, that you get to experience all these pains, you get to experience all these downsides, you get to experience how men actually treat you once you have that big bum, that T body, as they say. They forget to tell you how it affects your livelihood and how people actually perceive you. Now they no longer perceive you as a human being, but more like an object to be used just to experience the fantasies or whatever that they want to experience with someone who has a good body. So yeah, social media does play a huge role in how kids actually look at themselves in this day and age, and it's super super harmful because none of these influencers actually get to tell these kids that this is how you should actually live life. Yes, I've done it, but maybe at some points I'll also regret it. And maybe you as a kid, this is how we should look at things. So maybe the book, in a way, as much as I did not finish it, maybe it does teach in that sense that maybe you just need to like reconsider your options, look at the pros and cons before you actually get into it.
Okay. On my side, I viewed it in a different view. As Minentle said, that she's the only slim person in her family. I feel like I understood Temi because I'm also the only slim person in my family. And I know what it feels like to have everybody say, "Don't you eat?" Like they should feed you more. Maybe you're not eating enough, you know. I feel like those things mess with your mind at some point in your life because at this point everybody that comes into your family, they'll be like, "Oh, you're still skinny. You were this size when I came to see you in 2015." You know, it's those little comments that get somebody, I wouldn't say insecure, but it really damages your self-esteem. As Utemi was, her family was like, "Your mom should feed you more." This and that, you know, that was making her insecure. And there was this time in the book when she was coming from school and a guy slapped her bum. He was like, "Ah, you have no bum at all." I felt like that embedded in her mind and it really crushed her spirit to a point where she was like, if ever I could get money, I'm gonna get a BBL, I'm gonna get a bum, no matter what it takes. So I feel like society and those around us play a huge role in our lives. You know, it is the same even with chubbier people like Ludan. She had developed quickly and men were after her, you see. They were lasting over her to a point where she wished she was also a stick like her sister, but then her sister was wishing to be like her because usually it's easier to envy something that you don't have because you don't know what it feels like. You'd be like, maybe if I reach this certain weight, I'll be happy, I'll be fine. Not knowing that this certain weight also has its disadvantages and advantages. So I feel like the book was really trying to teach us that society will always have an opinion, and no matter what size you are, people are going to treat you a certain way. It's either you're skinny, they're going to complain about you skinny. be chubby, they're going to say something about you being chubby. So I feel like the author was trying to teach women to embrace their bodies in a way to say you are fine as you are. You shouldn't be pressured by other people. After all, we are unique and we have our own identities for a reason. There are slim people, there are medium people, there are chubbier people. So I feel like every each and one of that, there's a reason why people are like that. So I think that is what the author was trying to get across. And our next question is, what's your favorite scene from the book and why?
Mine is the opening, how she chooses the time and how she chooses to announce that she wants to get a baby. Oh my gosh, she couldn't have chosen the worst time to announce it. Because while everyone else is still trying to make sense of the father's passing, and even though they are asking questions about what they are going to do with their inheritance, at that point, in her high state, because, well, we all know she was a bit chemically off balance when she blurted it out, that is what killed me the most. The fact that she just decided, you know what, now's the time, it's now or never. So the opening for me, that was it. That's what I think got me hooked to the book before I even went more into it.
For me, I loved all of Ladoon's POVs. I felt like they were very interesting. But of that, then there was also Hassana's POVs. And the one that stood out for me specifically was that plot twist when now we knew that Mofe, I don't know if that's how you say his name, but Mofe, who was dating Oladun, when Ladoon's parents went to Mofe's family and they found out Suguti that was the man that was set to marry Hassana. I was sitting in a lecture when I read that part and I could not hold myself. I was so shocked. I felt like people were looking at me. But that part really shocked me. I was, of the many things that happened in that book, I was not expecting that. I was really not expecting it. So that was my favorite scene.
I think my favorite scene, it has to be the end chapter, right? When everyone they're gathered around her sister, her mom, her aunt, and then she's like, "You guys don't want me to get a BBL? That's fine. I won't get a BBL if everyone starts telling me their business. Ladun, why did you leave home? Mommy, what happened? This." And she was asking everyone personal questions. And she asked her aunt, "Why did you leave your husband? Why did you leave your marriage?" And I'm like, how Lentomazane? And then her aunt was just like, "You know what? It's fine. Go get your BBL, my darling." Because what do you mean it was that easy? What do you mean it was that easy? Because I remember also this other moment, they were ties, right? It was when Hazana thought her sister had a boyfriend just because she kept on changing hairstyles every 2 weeks, right? Whole time we get to find out that no, she doesn't have a boyfriend. She has a girlfriend. The girlfriend is the hairdresser. And every time she's going to get her hair done, she's going to see her man. Uyabona intombi yakhe. Ngasayibonina. I was like, no, ngicela ukuba iphathe le family, not because I want to be in on the drama. Let me be a fly on the wall. I just want to see how everything played out. I wanted to be there. I wished it was a movie or something because I want to see this play out in real time. Please.
I think my favorite scene was when she just woke up and the prophet's there, like throwing over the olive oil like she's possessed. I love that. It was like, and then she goes to the lounge and everyone's there, like the doctor, the prophet, the aunt. I assume another aunt, like I got a bit confused there with who is Big Mommy and who, and then the ones most the aunts, that was a bit confusing. With the sister that's acting like a saint, that to me was the best. I could just picture it, everyone like in a circle, and then them just throwing the olive oil still like it's holy water. I love that. I was like laughing out loud because I can imagine.
Can't on a girlfriend. Someone has a girlfriend. I feel like I missed out, but anyway, um, from what I read, my favorite scene was the mob stick part because I also had a nickname, so it kind of reminded me of the nickname that I had because I was skinny that my uncle gave me. And that part, as much as to someone maybe it might be painful, but it just made me laugh how they they called her a mob because she's straight and she is flat because even I at school someone brought a plank and brought it to my bumps and brought it to my bumps to see if it's gonna be straight or it's gonna wiggle. So it kind of reminded me of that time while I was in high school. So that scene was just a bit funny for me, just how they called her mob and everything.
I think I think most of Temi's POVs were my favorite. She was just so unhinged, and it's like you didn't expect what she says next because everything is like you finding out on every page. But I think my favorite scene was with, is it Ladun, or I don't know how to pronounce her name. When she went to her boyfriend's house and everything was fine, and then later on, she finds out that the boyfriend is married. I was like, hi, bro, this guy. Like, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him because I was like, how? I thought you guys were fine. I thought you were waiting for your visa to, like, I don't know. But that was like, I feel like that is like the classic move that men who travel overseas pull. Whenever they leave their girlfriend back home, you always find out that they are married for some reason, and you're like, hi, well, what happened? I thought we were fine. But I think that was my favorite scene for me. And the next question is, do you think Temi's reasons to renovate her bum bum were justified?
I believe they were, because if we look at the beginning, everyone is just on her case. At home, at school, at the market, the girl cannot breathe without anyone mentioning her body to her. It's like every time she opens her eyes, everyone has an opinion. So eventually it gets stuck in your head like, okay, maybe I need to do something about this. I remember there was a scene where I think she was sent to the market or something, and the lady asked about Ladun, and she spoke about how she wants Ladun to marry her son, blah, 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 blah. It's things like that. You end up feeling overlooked, maybe, and it starts with family saying things and passing them off as jokes. They think it's all fun and games, as they're saying it's just light-hearted things. You don't have to take them to heart. But then they're actually opening up the platform for everyone else outside to then come and do the same thing to you. And you're expected to just take it and roll with it, not realizing that you end up thinking, maybe I do need to fix myself. If I fix myself, they'll look at me better. If I fix myself, I'll stop getting all this negative attention. I'll stop being compared to a blackboard. Kids are mean. But yeah, I think she is justified. It's how she feels, and she genuinely believes that if she goes through with it, things will change. The only thing she's not checking is how will things change? Just as we saw with Ladun, all the groping, all the unnecessary attention, all the men just wanting to touch her. She's not considering those things, but we cannot blame her because she has only experienced one side of it, the side where she is the laughing stock, she is the joke wherever she is. She's just at the center of being made this big joke wherever she is. And what's worse is that it also happens at home. So yeah, I feel she was justified.
My hot take on this is that I don't think Demi would have gone ahead with the BBL. I don't think she had the courage to do it. That's my hot take. And where the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like everything that she did, she wanted attention. And the reason why I say she wanted attention is because for so long she has been othered, not just by her family, but in the outside community as well. She's always been compared, if she's not being compared to her sister, she's been compared to like her relationship, although not directly, but the way in which the book was written, especially by having Jumai and Hassana's POVs contrasted, mirrored the relationship that Ladun and Demi had, because they're both sisters, a pair of sisters, right? Jumai and Hassana's relationship and Demi and Ladun's relationship. So I think being compared with all these different people in her family as well as in communities as well was the reason why she felt like she was not being seen. Also, the fact that yes, her father loved her, but there was a key difference between the love that her dad showed to Ladun and the love that he showed to her, right? And I think for many things, there's so many parts in the book where whenever Demi would try to say something, they would shut her up, for example. When she would do something, they would just say, oh no, it's irrelevant, it's not important, you know. And most of the times it would only be her mom that would maybe stand up for her. And also I think the way that Ladun left, where she did not even consider having a conversation with her and talking to her about her reasons why, to the point where she blamed herself for her leaving because she didn't know what was going on. That's why I say she was othered and she was overlooked. She wasn't considered, her feelings were not considered at all. So because of that, I feel like she wanted attention. She wanted something that would have had her parents or her family say, Abel, actually, we see you, we hear you, we understand you. And that's why I'm saying she would have never gone through with that BBL, whether she just wanted to prove a point. I feel like that was her whole point. Like she just wanted them to see her because she was perfect, also like perfect in the sense of a Nigerian family expectations, because she never dated, first of all. She studied whatever they wanted. She was always a top achiever, doing well in school. Nje, she was excelling. She was the perfect child, but her parents never looked at that. They never saw that, and so her rebelling against them, it's like that saying that people say, "But you need to train your parents." I think her wanting to do the BBL or saying she wants to do the BBL was her way of shocking them. Who would say, actually, I'm not this perfect child that you guys think I am, you know? So in the back of my head, I'm just like, this girl was not gonna go through with that BBL. I don't think she would have had the courage or the guts, because also she would look at like her other friend who Babola, I don't know if that's how you say her name. She ended up doing that BB, and hers was awful. It was terrible, and she judged her. All right, she did judge her. So that's why I'm saying, Guti, I don't think she would have actually gone through with it. I think it was just a matter of getting attention. And when her family finally said, fine, do it, she was like, sure, I got what I needed.
I think I have to agree with my mom because my girl, she wasn't gonna go through with this. So, because I remember there was a scene whereby she was rating herself. I think it was somewhere along the last chapters. She had a beautiful facial structure, and then she was asking herself that if I renovate my bum bum, next I'm gonna have to renovate my boobs, and then what? My nose, my lips, my ears, and it actually cements the foundation that the BBL having no bums was not the problem. It wasn't the root. The root was the fact that she was sidelined in her family, regardless of everything that she was doing. Listen, that girl, because she was, I remember there was a scene Auntie Juma was saying Ladune was basically the outcast. She was the black sheep. While with Temi, she was she was seen as a saving grace because out of those two children, Juma thought Temi is actually the good one. Temi is the one that what we failed to do with Ladune, we can do with Temi because Temi was promising. She had good grades. She was respectful. She didn't talk back to her elders. She didn't date, even though she had a crush on a couple of guys. But she was basically a Nigerian parent's dream. And then come to think of Uti, this child is going to shock you one of these days. Because everyone was expecting Ladune, anything they could have expected anything from Ladune. And then when it was Temi that came with that sort of reaction, they thought, oh, maybe people grieve differently or so and so. Whereas this was a part of a deeper issue, which I feel like her father addressed a certain part of it before he died, because they had a conversation whereby he was asking, what did I not do? What did I not give you? Is it attention? And he was apologizing. I feel like she needed the reassurance that from the rest of her family, her mother especially, that she did not get growing up. She just wanted to be given a chance. She wanted to be heard for once, because I remember she said, finally, I am the source of attention because this meeting is for me. They are addressing me. I am the center of attention, not my mother, not Jumai, not Ladune, you know? She just wanted to be heard. I believe a lot of things, and especially nowadays, can be averted by just talking, because some people, in especially in Temi's situation, she just wanted to have someone hear her, to understand her. And her friend Bobola, they shared the same sentiments, but it wasn't exactly in the same way that they shared with Bobola. We didn't get to see much of her. She was more of a side character. But with Temi, we could see that her issues did not stem from the fact that she just wanted to change her body for herself. She didn't want to change her body. She was fine with her body. She just was not fine with the way everyone else was perceiving her body. But with her friend went ahead to get a BBL, a botched one at that. And when she came back, Temi was the first person to say, no, that don't look right. Why is it? Why? Why does it look like that? It's like one side is bigger than the other. It's like, what's going on? It's a potato. And so imagine someone that says they want the same thing as you, and you go ahead and do that thing before them, and then when you come back, that's the commentary they give you. No, my paper's not serious. She wasn't serious about that BBL. She just wanted the 3 million to be in the bank account. She just wanted it to sit there.
Minenhle, let's Umakonto go first. She raised her hand. Let her go first, and then you come next.
Okay, so I want to address your comment that you left here, because you don't know the struggles of being skinny. No. With that, yes, the book might have been representing a specific kind of body dysmorphia, but each and every single one of us at one point in our lives have experienced body dysmorphia. And I feel like just saying Guguti, like, you don't know the struggles of being skinny is a bit unfair, because body dysmorphia is not limited to only skinny people. I also have my own body dysmorphia. I have hip dips. I'm straight also. When you look at me from the front, I look like I look like a rectangle. But when I turn around, obviously, like just a little bit of nyash. But that doesn't mean I'm secure in my body, because now there's a certain way that I need to present myself in order for people to see the good side of me. But if I'm standing, maybe when you're looking at me from the front, I don't feel the most confident, because this is not how I want to appear, So firstly, that's the first thing. Would say, just because the book specifically represented the problems, or like the body dysmorphia of a skinny person specifically, does not mean would say each and every other person who might have nyash, who might have done a BBL, who might have an hourglass figure, does not struggle with body dysmorphia. And also, what did I want to say? Oh my gosh. I just lost my train of thought. It's fine. We didn't can go.
Okay, Minenhle, 1 second. Just to answer Umakonto. You guys are saying Temi wanted attention, of which that was my answer to say no, she wanted that BBL. I feel like you guys are speaking from a place of privilege, and you don't understand what it's like to be skinny. That is what I'm saying. That is the privilege. The fact that you don't understand something is a privilege. If you don't understand what it's like to be addicted to something or to want something, that is a privilege on its own, because you don't know what it feels like to wake up every day and not want to be in a body that you were born in. Not as in dysmorphia, as in I hate this, but hating your whole body and having everybody attack you. Sometimes when we come on the media, people accept us as we are, skinny or what, but Utemi had her family, the society, school, everybody coming at her. So when I say you're speaking from a place of privilege, I'm not saying you don't have your own insecurities. I'm saying on her level of saying, I want this because of this, because she's tired of it. So I'm not as in bracketing, as in this happens to skinny people also. No. When I'm saying on a plate of privilege, it's like you don't understand what it's like to be skinny like her. Because some of us have been skinny like her and had family and everybody around us. I'm sure if I also had money, I'm sure I would have considered a BBL. Who knows? Because you have no idea what it's like. There's this thing that they do where I come from. They call you Matagite out of nowhere. They'll be like, Matagite. Like, do you think I wouldn't have become Temi? So that's what I'm saying, Gucci. It's not like wanting attention. It's somebody being tired of the way they are and wanting to fix an insecurity. So for you to think it's a attention seeking, that's what I'm saying, Gucci. You're speaking from a place of privilege, because you haven't reached a point in your life where you'll be like, I wish I could cover my hip dips. You understand? That is a privilege to not be insecure enough to say, I think I would want to cover this because I feel like I don't like it. That's why you see some people, they do boob jobs because they'll be like, oh, my right boob is bigger than the left. And you have people pointing out your boob is bigger than the left. And it affects you mentally to a point where people want to change that. So if when you've never reached a point where you want to change, that is a place of privilege. I've seen celebrities, they'll be like, I removed fat from my stomach to fill in my hip dips. It means those hip dips, they were bothering them. Like it was hurting them to say, I have hip dips, to a point where they were like, I'm going to get that money. Whether it's 100K, whether it's what, I'm going to get it and fix my insecurity. If you have money, trust me. I feel like what is limiting most of us is money. If we had money, we'll fix all our insecurities. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry for triggering you. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it like that. You can go, Mashia.
So me personally, because I'm a place of privilege. Okay, puberty helped me. One, I was skinny. I was the skinniest person. I didn't have ass. I didn't have boobs. I didn't have hips. Wow, my hip dips being a now. What helped me was puberty, and as someone who grew up relatively with a very petite body, and I gained weight rapidly. Mind you, in this weight gain, there's no nyash. There's still no nyash. So there's still no nyash with this weight gain. Because what do you mean? I'm still getting bullied. Because in my family, oh, body is tea. If you don't have boobs, please, you have ass, you have hips. With me, I have boobs. No one has big boobs in my family. The nyash is there, but it's like a quarter is missing, you know. But I'm not speaking from a place of privilege. I'm not gonna lie. I was thoroughly bullied, pulled through the mud, primary, secondary. I understand, Tammy, and the reason I say that she was attention seeking was because I put myself in her shoes, and with me, I like to relate with characters as to I would do this type of thing because I wanted to have this kind of result. And so with me, I was like, no, baby girl wants attention. She doesn't want to do that BBL because if she was really serious about that BBL, she wouldn't even have needed to have a family meeting because her father's approval was enough. She would have just gotten that yes from her dad before he passed. She would have just taken a flight, gone to do that BBL, and healed. And then when she was gonna come back, like her sister who disappeared for 5 years, and be like, "Hello, who's this? I'm new. Do you like the body? I bought it. I bought it in Brazil."
You can go, Makonto, and then we can go to Minenli.
Oh my God, this conversation is triggering. Okay, so when you say that I'm speaking from a place of privilege, I feel like it's unfair of you to say that because you don't know where I'm coming from, right? This is a conversation that I have with like a lot of times with people around me. I always say, Guti, the first thing I'm going to do after I have children, when I'm done having children, is get a boob job. That's what I've always said. Because up until last year, no, 2024, I was an A cup. I was an A cup on my breast. And then I started gaining weight in 2024 when I moved from Durban to Cape Town. And that weight gain, it wasn't gradual. It was like this. I gained weight to the point where I could not recognize myself at all. And part of that weight gain was me having breasts that I did not plan for. I went from an A size cup to a D. I went from not wearing a bra to having to wear a bra every single day. And that is not something that I like. It's not something that I I've ever wanted for myself. And so the moment every time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, I want these to go. I don't like them. I hate them. And that's just one of the many body dysmorphias that I have. And so for you to say I'm speaking from a place of privilege is quite triggering, because if there's anyone that understands Temi, it's me. Because although Yena, her problems are different in the sense that Yena, she wants to have a nyash, which is something I don't really care about. If I could also, I would just remove it. I don't care. I don't like it. I don't care about it. I don't care. I don't care. If I could, I'd swap places with her any day. I'd be tiny. I'd be skinny with the small nyash and tiny boobs. That's my perfect body, you know. And so that's why I have a problem with the term I'm speaking from a place of privilege. Also, the reason why I'm saying, like, just like Masha just mentioned, Uguti, the reason why I'm saying Temi was seeking attention was because, yes, her body was the center of it all, but there was so many other things that were happening around it. And the way that she dealt with it initially was the reason why I said it was seeking attention. Like Marsha said, if she wanted that BBL, she would not even have addressed it. She had the money, she had everything. She could have graduated university, got on her plane like her sister did, went to Lagos and did her BBL without telling anyone. She's old enough. She was old enough. She was at a place where she was stable enough that she could go and do that BBL.
Oh, sorry, you're still speaking.
Yes, so she was at a place where she could have just got on a plane and went to do that BBL, and no one could have said anything because she was old enough, she had the money, she had the means, right? So that's why I'm saying Uguti, she was seeking attention. That is why I was saying she was seeking attention, not because I don't understand her struggles, not because I don't understand why she wanted to get the BBL. I understand. I also want one, and I'm gonna do one, not a BBL, but breast reduction. I want one, and I'm gonna get one, and that's why I don't judge her. But I know she would have never had the courage to go through with it.
Okay, my conquer, I hear you and I apologize for triggering you, but I do not apologize for saying it the way I said it. Because at the end of the day, what you are saying and my statement are the same thing, it's just different rephrasing. Because you are saying she wouldn't have told her family if she wanted to do it. But it's different backgrounds and different traditions. Just like you saying you told your sister or your cousin, it's the same for her. So I really apologize for triggering you, but let's agree to disagree on the place of privilege part. Not in a bad way, but I feel like we are saying the same thing, but just different wording. I feel like you got triggered, of which the triggering is a personal thing, and everything that we are insecure about as human usually trigger us when somebody says it in a different way. And that is a fact. Whether I meant it or didn't, but it did trigger you, and I'm really sorry for that. You can go ahead, Minenhle.
Masha is man, stop that. Okay, so ew, guys, what was the question? Oh, were her reason valid for getting a BBL? As someone who's been skinny, who's still skinny by the way, and from the family that I come from and the society that I grew up in a way, I do believe that her reason were super valid because It's really hard being told that you are not eating enough, your body is not good enough, your body lacks this, oh, you are straight, oh, you are so tiny. My uncle even went as far as giving me a nickname because I was skinny. Like I'm the only skinny person in my family. My sister, my mother, my grandmother, my cousins, everybody has super, super great bodies. They all have small figures, big bums, hips, like really good proportion boobs, like they are super perfect with their bodies, and I'm the skinny one. So being told on a daily basis that you are skinny, you are not eating enough, maybe you should try eating this, maybe you should try going to the gym, maybe you should try eating more protein or whatever, it kind of messes with your head. Maybe in a way she was not looking for attention, but maybe also in a way she was looking for attention. We wouldn't know. And to the fact that my Kongo, when you are saying that she could have just gone, she's old enough. Ma'am, I'm 24 years old. I'm not married. Me not being married and being 24, it means I'm still a child from my household. Meaning, any decision I decide to make, I need to inform my family. I need to sit them down. I need to sit them down. So tell them, guys, I'm thinking of buying a house. This is the house I want to buy. This is how much it's going to cost. This is where I'm buying my house. My sister, she's like 38 now. She got a tattoo 2 years back. She didn't tell my mom. She didn't tell anybody. It was just a tiny tattoo to cover a scar on her leg. She went and got that tattoo and went back home in KZN to show them the tattoo. All hell broke loose. She's not married. She has kids. She has her own house. She is got that tattoo. But when she got that tattoo, all hell broke loose because you took a decision with your body. You did not tell us as your family. So maybe in a way, it's more like as much as I want it, but I can't do it without informing the elders of the family, regardless of my age. So maybe the attention part of saying maybe she just wanted attention. If she wanted to, she would have just and went and did that BBR and come back and be like, hey, how do I look? My family was gonna take you back to that doctor and drag you. They're going to drag you back to the doctor and so fix it. Remove whatever that you've put. Remove it. We don't care about the money. Remove it. That's my family. And yeah, she might have wanted attention, but also I kind of understand her from the parts that I read and from what you guys are saying about the whole inter situation. She just wants it, man. But I actually do understand her when she is in terms of being skinny and being always being told that you're not eating enough. Maybe you should try eating this. Maybe you should try doing this. I also, at some point, while I was still in high school, I decided just to wear baggy clothes because I was not comfortable enough in clothes that were actually more fitting on my body because they actually got to show my size and how my body is shaped. And I would normally wear baggy pants, baggy shirts, baggy jerseys. My clothes were just baggy because I just didn't want people telling me, oh, you are too skinny. Oh, you are too this. Maybe you should try eating this. Maybe you should try going to the gym. Why mama ko angadlisa umdoko omningi? Why you ngadla mahewu? You know, those kind of comments actually like mess with you to a point whereby maybe in that age, if I knew about a BBL, maybe back then, I would have like, maybe I do want something like this. But then back then, I had no idea. I had no phone. I knew nothing about social media. I knew nothing about what can be done to change your body. So having those comments actually did mess up with my self-esteem, just like it would mess up with Tammy's self-esteem. So maybe on my side, maybe I would have done a BBL that time. I would have told my family that there's a doctor who can actually change me and make me gain a bit of weight. Can we go there? I was maybe going to say that. I don't know. So yeah, maybe she wanted attention, but I do strongly believe that her reasons were super valid because I've been there. I know how it feels when people are constantly judging you on how you look, on busy like giving you advice as to what you need to do to change how you look, instead of just trying to understand that we are built differently and we experience life differently. I only got to like maybe kind of being confident with my body when I was done with school and started working, and people were actually saying, "Oh man, you have a really good body. You have really nice legs. You are so petite and beautiful. Clothes suit you." That's when maybe I got a bit of confidence. But even now, as at my big age, I still have those days where I'm like, maybe if I would gain, maybe be like a size 6, maybe I would love to be a size 6. But man, it's life. We are both differently. We just experience life differently, I guess.
Yeah, we do. Makongo, yeah, you can go. But I just wanted to say, another thing is that Tammy didn't grow into her adult body. She has been skinny her whole life. Do you know that some people grow up skinny and then when they reach 21, 22, they grow into their adult body? For example, I'm turning 27 this year. I'm still the same size I was when I was 14, 15. I still wear my same clothes that so I didn't grow into my so when I say I know the struggles of being skinny. I know them because I've been skinny 27 years of my life. I didn't reach grade 4 and had maybe little boobs or little, I didn't have that. I've been in this body. I'm just morphing, maybe my face just morphs into something else, but I've been like this. So when I say I know the struggles, sometimes we mean it because I feel like it's a different to grow, or maybe when you reach your 20s and you grow into your adult body, or when you reach a certain age and you change something. I feel like it's different, and Tammy was like that her whole time, and she really didn't like it and decided to do something about it. You're still waiting for your adult body, but you did say you gained something, so maybe that is your adult body. Maybe now you need to sharpen it with gym or something. I don't know. Makonko, you can go ahead.
I wanted to say, when Menentle said she was looking for attention from men, I don't know if you got to that part. I don't know if you got to a part where she was actually being pursued by a a nice, good-looking guy. She turned him down. She didn't believe she was worthy enough of his attention. And I think that at some point also speaks back to the fact that it was not about just um it was not just about seeking attention from men, but her family. She wanted attention from her family, and it stems from the very same facts that I stated, I think, when we started, that she was often overlooked. Yes, Chuka. Yes, that guy. He liked her, but the fact that she was dealing with the traumas of her family not being attentive enough to her because she was always the good child, I can also relate to that because like at home, no one pays attention to you if you're a good person. Like if you're a good child, you're well behaved, they always expect you to I vele because you're perfect, or not perfect, but like you don't act out, you don't like actively seek attention in that manner, then they're not gonna pay attention to, like they're not, like they won't care for what you're doing. So when you suddenly do something grandiose that gets their attention, they're just shocked. People say, how? But you've always been the good child, you've never done something like this, why are you behaving like that now all of a sudden, you know? So that's why I'm saying, Goguti, this whole thing of Utemi wanting to have a BBL was not for the attention of men, or maybe at the surface level, as we have all seen manje ukuthi she wanted to like heal her self-esteem, which is I do think she did want to like better her self-esteem, but on a deeper level it was to get the attention of her family, to say ukuthi I also am deserving of your love. I'm also deserving of your love and attention and care, the same way that you guys will cuddle Uladun and call her every single day because she's in Lagos and she ran away from home. I also require that very same attention, because just because I'm the good child, I get good marks, I do everything that you guys expect of me, doesn't mean I should raise myself. I should do everything and not be given that attention that I need, you know?
Minette, are you raising your hand or what? You can go ahead.
But Kaka, I was just joking on the man part. Like, I was not serious. I didn't even read the whole entire book. I was just kidding on that part. I was just kidding on that part. Honestly, it wasn't something that I was serious about. I was just thinking about that other scene where they called her a mob. Was it a mob? I think it was the guy she liked and he called her a mob. I think I was just thinking of that scene in my head. I wasn't serious about that part, Shem, because I don't even know. I did not finish the book. That was just a joke on my part. But I do understand what you're saying.
Kuli, do you want to say something before we go to the next question? You've been quiet, we've been rambling. Pella, this row we talk. We are not shy. As for we are. So if you don't raise your hand, we're gonna spend the whole night talking. We love talking, we enjoy talking. So if you want to say something, you can go ahead.
I feel like for a book that a lot of us felt unsure about, yeah, no, it really it opened up some wounds, if I may say, or it got us to take a closer look at ourselves and our own insecurities. At the end of the day, we all struggle with something, be it physical or on the inside where no one can see it. We won't always relate the same way because obviously their struggles are different. So some might feel that yes, it was just a matter of getting the family to notice her, which I also understand because I also grew up as a quiet child, a child that never asked for anything, just went with whatever I was told to do. And to this day, I'm still struggling a bit with that. But then the minute I grew up and started talking back, it came as a shock. Everyone was like, okay, what's wrong with you? It's always what's wrong. It's never acceptable as such. It's always it's perceived as a problem that you have. So that might have been the case with her, because if we can compare with her father as well, sure, he loved his girls, but I think we might have noticed that Ladun was the first love in a way. So it's things like that. When you eventually break out of your shell, it comes as a shock to everyone. They can't believe that you are behaving in such a manner. So yeah, it's been quite fun. I've been quiet, but yes, I'm loving to see how the one book that a lot of us were unsure about, it got us to dig deep and think about things that bother us internally and when we are alone. So yeah, I'm good with this.
Okay, we are supposed to wrap up at past, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, what do you rate the book? Do you want us to continue talking or should we extend the time? What do you guys say before we answer this question? But if this will be like the last question, then it's fine. It's what do you rate the book? You guys can type while Ukuli talks.
Um, I would have to rate it a 2, but mostly it's because of the different narrations. They had me confused from time to time, and I do not enjoy reading a book where it feels like I am the character in the book. You know, where they're writing Temi's Pov, and then you're reading as you. That part, it threw me off. And also discovering that it's not necessarily about her or and her journey towards getting the BPL. It just circles around all the family members. I feel like there was the way the book was described at first was a bit blindsiding. So yeah, that I'd stick to it too.
Before we had this discussion, I had thought I would rate it a 4 star, and I'm glad I hadn't written my Goodreads review yet. But now I'm changing my mind. It's actually a 5 star read. It, I think, from a literary student's perspective, this has a lot of layers. It has a lot of layers that I can still unpack and uncover. Specifically, the choice, the literary devices that were used in order to convey the story. The second person narration. Why did she choose to use that second person narrative? You see, for Demi specifically, and then change when it was other characters that were speaking. I feel like that is a nuance that first captured my attention, and at first I didn't quite understand why it is, and I was like a bit taken aback. I was like, this is a weird format. But now I'm at a place where I'm like, this is amazing. This is something that I've never seen being done before. And I want to understand, I want to dig deeper and understand why it was done in that specific way. So for me, for the creative aspect of it, 5 star. 5 star.
I personally, as a fellow literature student, I think the structure of it at first it gave me a little bit of a shock because my lecturer would have been like, "What is this? Like, what is happening here? Everywhere is a mess." Oh my god! But then me being the chatbot that I am, I was like, involve me. I like it. I like it here. Wow, I love this. Please bring some more. Is there more spice? Is there more sauce? Is there more drama? If I could rate it a 10, I would. I have to rate it a 5. I have to rate it a 5 because it's handy in dab. And this book brought so much more. The juices, everything was more.
Well, I did not finish the book, so I'm not even I'm not even sure I'm allowed to read it. But all I can say is, from what I read and got from the book, had I finished it, maybe it would have been a 3 star. But from what I picked up, I would just, if it had continued that way, I don't know how I would have felt about it. It could have been a simple 2 star because, firstly, I'm not a literature student. I don't understand literature. I read for entertainment. I hate educational books. That's why I stay away from nonfiction. So that kind of book that is written in a second person format, I hate a second person format. So that alone was just off for me. And going further into the book, having to introduce other characters, having so many POVs, also for me, that's just an ick that I hate in a book. That also takes away points from the book for me because it makes it messy for me to understand it. It makes it hard for me to actually get to grasp whose point of view this is now. To make it worse, the points of view still they're in different points of views. There's first person, there's third person. Now I'm just confused. It's just all over the place and it's just messy on my part. So that alone, from what I gathered, it could have been a 2 star read for me. But looking at the discussion that we're having, it's something that I would say for my niece, I would recommend the book to her and be like, you know what, as a growing young adult, as a teenager, pick this book up, read it, and tell me how you feel about it. It's something that I would tell my niece to read it. It's something that I would go maybe to a school and be like, maybe give kids this book. Maybe it might help them like broaden their horizons or whatever, broaden their knowledge when it comes to self-esteem and teachings of that sort. It's that kind of a book for me. But personally, nah, thanks. It's chai.
On my side, personally, it is not my cup of tea. Really, I don't like those kind of books, and the narration just made it worse. So I would just rate it 3 stars for the creative side of it. And as Makonko said, it's layered. It has you thinking differently and seeing things differently. On the creative side, it's really something. I don't want to lie, even though it's not my cup of tea, like the type of book I'll pick up and enjoy, but it really has you thinking. And then this discussion also has me thinking with this, like, we are all Temi in our different ways. Like, we are all her. And I feel like that's the reason why the author said you, to put you in her shoes. That's why her POV was you, meaning you get to experience her in your